Majo John Madden sitting in the doorway of my tiny house that Spot, one of 2.5 dogs who live with me here. One half because Negro doesn't stay here at night. So I am feeling so happy, so contented about the conversation I've had by text this morning with my landlord and good friend Marcos. I got stuck in this house the night before last. Without going through the whole story, I tell it elsewhere. I'll put a link. But I could not get out. And I was here with a neighbor dog that never was supposed to be in here. I hadn't even realized he had slipped in. He turned out to be a really nice dog, but he just wanted to go home. And it all happened after midnight, so Marcos didn't reply to any of my messages. I'm sure he had gone to bed. But then in the morning, instead of compassion and, yeah, I'll get right on it, I'm coming right over, he said, I'm busy, I'm over in Tulum. I'll get to it later. And by the way, I don't like you having dogs in the house. Well, I was furious. And I knew that there's a big cultural divide around me and my whole American way of relating to dogs, and super, super attached to dogs compared with most Mexicans. I knew that there's no way for people to understand that. But we've been saying that we're good friends for life, and that he was going to let me stay trapped here. I saw red. So I wrote back and I said, I'm trapped in this house that you constructed and for which I'm paying a pretty hefty rent. I expect you, or if you're over in Tulum doing business, get one of your people over here. I have known all along that if I really, really want to, I could find a way to beat this door down. It does open a crack. And I didn't want to ruin your door, but I will. If somebody doesn't get over here and get me out of here, I'm going to beat that door down. So he responded right away. He said, I'm sending Antonio over. And Antonio came over and found that the door stopper was installed wrong. It was installed on the outside of the door, and it had come loose, and it was stopping the door. It took like a minute to fix it. I said, no, please take it off. So there had been no more communication between Marcos and I yesterday. I drafted a very angry letter that I immediately pulled off of my text message platform, or Facebook Messenger, how we communicate, and put it in a file so it wouldn't accidentally get sent. I said, wait till tomorrow. Well, 4 in the morning, I was up and I realized you're still enraged. You still are so mad at him. So I drafted a super angry letter in Google Drive so it wouldn't accidentally get sent, and sat on it. And then I sent him a message saying, I am still really, really angry about yesterday. So angry I don't dare say anything except the following. Do you understand that the reason I got locked in had nothing to do with the dogs, who have never destroyed anything around here, and everything to do with faulty design in your door, in your house? You put that stopper on the wrong side of the door. And then I stopped. And then later I sent a PS saying, what if I had to get out because of a fire or a gas leak? And I stopped and sat with it. And maybe a half hour later he responded and said, I got that door salvaged. That thing was already installed. I'm very sorry. But I don't like the dogs being in the house at night. And I don't like that you've been letting them sleep on the 2 blankets I gave you. So I wrote back and said, that's all I needed, man. Thank you. I'm not angry anymore. And I think text message isn't the way to talk about this because there's a big cultural gap. And he wrote back and he said, maybe I could build a little shelter outside the house so they could stay outside the house, because when you leave, they're going to want to not leave that house. And I wrote back and I said, I could consider that. I realize that me letting them stay in the house at night is really not sustainable, because if I leave when they're still alive, no one else is going to give them that down here. And by the way, I'd sleep better with them outside. And I have picked up your 2 blankets off the floor, and they mostly prefer the cool concrete anyway. And then he wrote back and he says, the most important thing is for us to always be best friends. Wow. Wow. So we are on track, back on track. He gave a little. I was prepared to say, if you're not man enough to apologize to me, you're less of a man than I think. I really was going to say some shit like that. And all it took was for him to say, I'm so sorry. And I softened, and then I wanted to give, and then he wanted to give, and we're back on track. Good job, Marcos. Good job, Juanito. Amigo siempre. Yeah, baby.